Hello and happy Easter to Sporting Bet customers. How are you doing? We've got a couple of games to talk today in the Premier League and a couple more in La Liga as every Friday. But let me start with Liverpool Aston Villa, and I'll get me notes because obviously Pepe Reina will be absent and he's done his chance to make a name for himself. But I think the worries of Liverpool go beyond a goalkeeper, even though Reina's probably not having his best season, but he's having a solid season as he normally does. I think we're seeing a problem with Liverpool that goes, as I'm saying, beyond one or two absentees or a player that may be unhappy like Carroll. It is a Liverpool that lacks quality. That's very clear for everybody to see. There's been mistakes in the transfer market. I've got the impression that there is far too many decisions made from the dugout that are not down to reaction to games or trying to get the best out of players. Sometimes there are decisions that don't seem to have too much of football logic, and that I think is what worries the owners of Liverpool. Why certain things have been decided and what's behind those decisions. Beyond the lack of quality and perhaps some strange tactical decisions and tactical work from the side. Well, a little brackets about that. It just seems that Liverpool, when they've got the advantage in the games, or when they require a clever way of working the game, of understanding what the game requires, they just don't seem to have in themselves to actually react properly and give the game and give the team what it needs. What I'm trying to say is that it is a team based on a way of playing, but hasn't got enough weapons to react to problems. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe there is not enough tactical work being put in the training sessions. Maybe it's all based on possession and the way that things used to be done at Liverpool. I don't know what it is, but you do see a team when it's a solid team or a complex team. You see that when they got things going wrong their way, and then they just react, by switching positions or by changing tactics. I don't see enough at Liverpool about that, and generally it's just been a disappointing season. Still may end up winning 2 cups. Everybody knows about that, but the questions will be asked to the manager. So the manager has got the responsibility to answer them, of course, and he may have the answers, and he may just find the solutions. What's clear is that Liverpool is looking for next season. Is looking for something that's been missing, which is quality in the last third, certainly goal scoring ability, and pace. Pace is the thing that worries them most, because Liverpool seems to have just 1-2 pace. Just need the third pace and sometimes the fourth pace, and they don't have it as a team or individually either. So a lot to improve on. I did say halfway through the season that you have to trust the players that were already in the squad instead of just going and buying players. It would have been a little bit of desperation at that point of the season. There were enough room for manoeuvre and room for improvement from the players that were already in the side, that you would think, if they get better, if they get to a level that we expect, Liverpool actually will get better as well. But that hasn't happened in many cases, and as I'm saying, it's just been a little bit of a disappointing season. There is Europe to look forward to next season. That's how you can convince some of the players to come over. There's the Liverpool brand, which is still big, and you can convince people to come over, but there's more needed. There's just more information from the manager. I know the coaches work hard to provide that, but sometimes it's the manager that has to lead. So let's hope that, as I'm saying, he's got the answers to the questions that the board will ask him. And another one will be, by the way, on that game, obviously Liverpool favourites, 2 teams that actually haven't done too well since since the new year. It's only, I think, 8 points, Aston Villa, and 10 Liverpool, something like that. And it's Anfield, they lost only twice. You would think Liverpool to win, but I do feel a little bit of, when I got to Anfield, it just feels that people are a bit down, and the atmosphere is not what it should be. But there's an FA Cup semi-final to look forward to, I suppose. And then the other big one, of course, for both sides is Arsenal, Manchester City. Sporting Bet makes Arsenal favourites for this one, and I wouldn't disagree with them. When I mentioned at the beginning of the season that Manchester City had a problem with team spirit, it was an informed guess. I knew what I was talking about, and I think throughout the season you've seen what I meant. It's a team that has got quality, that seemed to be in the mind of the manager. They probably were more comfortable when they had the three players in the midfield, defensive players like Yaya Touré, like De Jong, like Barry, playing together. But it is the other Manchester City, the offensive one, that has made the headlines and got the points at the beginning. Now I think it seems to be more bearing towards a more defensive Manchester City. But going back to the spirit, it is when things go wrong that you see who's strong there, if there is leadership, if everybody's going the same way. And I'm not just talking about Tevez and about Balotelli, but both of them are, by the way, Manchester City players. So yes, that is partly what's happening too. A lot of players have arrived to Manchester City with the idea of earning money, and to develop that team spirit. Perhaps Mancini has failed to do so. Perhaps another manager will be able to do that, because certainly the quality is there. When you see if a team is mentally strong and able to challenge for titles, it's at this part of the season, and then you see if the work that has been put into the side is worked or not. And again, question marks that it is working. Let's see what happens here. Obviously, they will pose a threat to Arsenal. Arsenal that went an unbeaten run of 7 games, and then they lost against Crystal Rangers last weekend, but still, have got again enough confidence, I think, to beat City. With Kun Agüero missing, probably Nasri will be the man to keep an eye on in terms of scoring, and for Arsenal, who probably will score. I think both teams will concede, and Arsenal will end up getting the 3 points of cutting pressure. So let's just quickly have a look at what we've got Spanish-wise, and then let you go to rest on your how do you call it, Easter Friday calendar. Bear with me. Right, we've got 2 important games and good games on Saturday, both of them, and both of them on Sky Sports at 7 o'clock. It's Zaragoza versus Barcelona, and this is a Zaragoza that comes from 3 consecutive victories, and a Barcelona that had just been in Europe. When they come back from Europe, they struggle a little bit, physically more than anything, and mentally sometimes, depending on which game it is, to raise the game. Zaragoza would be very physical and will make life very difficult for Barcelona in the last third, because they will accumulate players there. Barcelona will just open up the defence at some point, and they will get the victory, but it could be just by a margin of a couple of goals. I don't see Zaragoza scoring, I see Barcelona scoring a couple, so perhaps that's the result. And then Betis Villarreal is an interesting one as well, at the bottom side of the table. Villarreal just has had 3 different managers. They've got players like Borja Valero that's been followed in England, and in Spain as well. He may end up going to Malaga, and I've got enough quality to, the midfield of Villarreal is fantastic. Bruno, Sena, Cani, Borja Valero, but they don't score enough goals and they concede too many. Betis, on the other hand, they actually got a surprising victory at the weekend by playing really badly actually against Malaga, but still managing to get the 3 points. And they coming home, they will make those 3 points good if they actually get something here. It will be one of those interesting games, because both teams have got players that can play the ball, and certainly is one game I'll be watching. So I hope some of you out there, Sporting Bet customers, will be doing so as well. Let's see. I'm looking forward to another weekend of good football. The important stage of the season. It's one to lots of games to look forward to. So that's it. I'll switch this off and talk to you